I want to talk to you about the lesson I learned with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. The argument was at the very beginning, he did it. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. And then it changed once we found out that he did do it. Doesn't matter. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. This happens all the time. And it's why these news stories are just drug out for, weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, because you get so tired of it and you get so used to the idea that, yeah, maybe he did it, that it doesn't matter anymore. Now, I think these things do matter, but you have to decide whether or not they matter. And on this particular issue with President Trump and Vice President Joe Biden, you have to decide, does it matter? Because they both did the same thing. Now, let me make this case. What did Joe Biden do? What the press is saying that he did. Now, they're not getting into any of his stuff with his son, which to me is the real problem. But what they're saying that Joe Biden did was he went over to the Ukraine. He and the president feared corruption. And so he withheld money. And he said, unless you do this, you're not getting any of our money because we think there's corruption here. And so you have to fire the special prosecutor. That's what he did. And the press says there's no problem with that. And the reason why the press says there's no problem is because we feared corruption. And should we be giving our money to a corrupt government? Now, here's what Donald Trump did, according to the press. And that's not exactly fair to Donald Trump because they're not saying really much of this. But let me give you a fair account of what Donald Trump, if I'm going to take Joe Biden at his word, because that's what Joe Biden said, I got to take Donald Trump at his word at this point. And this is what he said. He said, there's a new president. He doesn't know if he is pro-Putin or pro-Ukraine, pro-West. They fear corruption. And so he holds money back and says, I want you to investigate this because we fear that there was American corruption going on. And this guy was fired because America was corrupt and in bed with your last president. We need to know if that's true. So what is the difference there? They're both fearing corruption. They both take it on, the administration, both times, takes it on themselves. The difference is that one person is running for president and is the candidate against the administration. Okay? So now you have that. So what you're accusing then Donald Trump of doing is going to a foreign power and saying, can you dig up dirt on my opponent? And that's an impeachable offense. That's the worst thing that's been done. But isn't that exactly like what Hillary Clinton did with Fusion GPS just through a mediary? They went to Fusion GPS and said, dig up dirt. And Fusion GPS went to a foreign spy who went to the Russians and dug up dirt on Donald Trump. So isn't that the same exact thing, except you're washing your hands? You're washing your hands because you're going through Fusion GPS. Well, I didn't know. Of course you did. Of course you knew. And they took that a step further. They then took that dossier, which was all unproven allegations, and then back-channeled it to the Justice Department. And the Justice Department started an investigation, which we now know had no basis. You see, this is the problem with this. The press and the left have already decided that these things don't matter. The right has been saying it does matter. In fact, we've been saying this since before 2008. But 2008 is a great place to stop. What was the campaign slogan for Barack Obama? It was hope and change. Well, hope for what? Hope for a more peaceful, united union that had a government that was transparent and was doing the right things in the name of the people. That's what the hope and change was that we all voted for. It was bigger than Barack Obama, just like race was bigger than Barack Obama. It wasn't that we elected Barack Obama because he was black, but there was something bigger than Barack Obama, and that was racism in America. We are not the people we used to be. So it was this ideal that was held up. Here's a black man that can bring us hope and change. That's great. But that's not what we got. We got more division, more lies, and a press that wouldn't look into anything. A press that said, oh, it's the most ethical presidency of all time. They were using the IRS to take down his opponents. What is the difference between that and what Joe Biden did or what Donald Trump did? What's the difference? If one is abuse of power, they all are abuse of power. This is why Donald Trump was elected. Donald Trump was elected because the people know he's full of crap a lot of times. They know that he is a big businessman. He's a wheeler and dealer. Why would you want that guy as president? Because he has the balls to stand up and say, shut up. And that's where America is. And America is at that point on both sides of the aisle. You see, what's happened here are there the game players on both sides. And the media, in both conservative media and liberal media, they each have their game players. Some are trying to do the right thing. They're few and far between. Most of the media has just chosen a side. I am for the D's or I am for the R's. But Americans are saying, I'm not for either of you guys. I have hope that real change will come. I want our government to do the right thing. I don't care. If this is wrong, then all of them should go to jail. If what Donald Trump did is wrong, then Joe Biden should go to jail and Barack Obama should go to jail. See, what's happened is we're a banana republic, and a banana republic chooses when to enforce the law. Yesterday, Donald Trump said he had gutted the Johnson Amendment, and he had. He has. But here's how. He didn't change the law. He can change the law. But what he can do is instruct the Justice Department not to enforce the law.